We're good.
All right, morning.
Morning.
I'm going to call the Cook County Health and Hospital System Finance Committee meeting to order. Will the secretary please call the roll?
Director Harrington,
Present.
Director Laurie,
Present.
Director Robinson is absent, Chair Ryder,
Ryder is here.
and for the record, those directors also present, Director Masuda Barnett, present.
Morning.
Quorum.
And do we have anyone from the committee joining us online?
We do not,
Do we have any other directors joining us online?
we do not.
All right. The next regular meeting of the Finance Committee is scheduled for Friday, September 18th at 10:30 a.m. Debbie, is there anyone registered for public comment?
We do have several registered speakers. The first one is Nikki Patton, and that's going to be followed by Linda Schwartz. When you have 1 minute remaining, I'll remind you, and then when your time has elapsed, I'll let you know too.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
I'm here to speak about the organization that I lead as its CEO, Brave Space Alliance. Brave Space Alliance is a Black trans-founded and focused community center located in Hyde Park in Chicago's mighty 4th Ward. Our work is guided by 4 pillars: food, housing, identity, and health. The support from Stronger Together has deeply strengthened both our identity and health pillars. Due to the resources from Stronger Together, Brave Space Alliance was able to offer 226 wellness checks in 2025 and finally establish our own behavioral health team. This year, that team has tripled and will be able to offer not only wellness checks, but case management and referral to longer-term therapeutic care. Stronger Together has been key in making our behavioral health offerings more consistent and accessible. For many of our participants, asking for help isn't easy. About 6 weeks ago, one of our regular participants was having a medical crisis. Now, normally we'd never know. This is someone who shows up with smiles and jokes for everyone, who is always up no matter what is going down. Not this day. This day, they connected with Brave Space Alliance's brand new case manager and let them know that they weren't doing well at all. We as a team sprang into action. Our director of programs monitored their breathing. Our behavioral health manager and case manager stayed on the line with EMS. And the director of development and I went downstairs and outside to flag down and direct emergency services right to our participant who got the support they needed. Had they not felt brave enough to let us know that they needed help, I don't know what would have happened. And that's how I know that support from programs like Stronger Together is essential. Brave Space Alliance is one of many community organizations that stand in the gaps that are too often ignored. Those wellness checks are a lifeline for those who come to us feeling like they have no one to talk to or that anyone will understand. Having a team dedicated to the behavioral health and well-being of those we serve helps normalize therapeutic support and lets people know that they are not alone, that folks care about them, that healing is not only possible, but accessible. Stronger Together has had a direct hand in helping people live in eternal and powerful truth. That being brave isn't about not feeling scared. Being brave is scared, but doing it anyway. What you've done with this support has helped a lot more people get brave. And once people get brave, there's nothing that they can do. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
The next speaker is Linda Schwartz, followed by Alois Hill.
Good morning. I'm Dr.
Morning.
Linda Schwartz, CEO of Children's Research Triangle, or CRT. For 28 years, we've worked to ensure that children facing the greatest behavioral health challenges have access to the care they need to succeed. Our clients are predominantly Black and Latinx low-income families from Chicago's South and West Side. 96% have experienced trauma, and 2/3 have endured 5 or more forms, including community violence, physical and sexual abuse, neglect, and domestic violence. CRT embeds licensed clinicians at 16 community sites, bringing trauma-informed services into neighborhoods where children need them most, increasing access and strengthening systems to better support families. The impact is measurable. Last year, we served over 1,400 children and trained 800 caregivers and professionals. 86% of therapy clients reduced trauma symptoms. 84% showed emotional and behavioral improvement, and 80% of caregivers reduced the risk factors for abuse. Cook County has been an important partner supporting CRT through Cook County Health's Stronger Together initiative and multiple Justice Advisory Council grants. Since 2024, Stronger Together has enabled CRT to provide 482 children and families therapy and serve 426 professionals in training. To demonstrate what Cook County Health's investment makes possible, let me tell you about 17-year-old Jade. Jade came to CRT through a community partner in Auburn Gresham with a history of abuse, depression, suicidal plans, and a highly volatile relationship with her mother. College felt completely out of reach. Through therapy, Jade learned to navigate her emotions and challenge negative beliefs. She's no longer suicidal. Her relationship with her mother has dramatically improved. And this fall, Jade will begin at SIU pursuing a career in social work. CRT doesn't just treat trauma. We help children rebuild trust and rediscover what safety and hope feel like. Jade is one of hundreds of success stories at CRT every year, but those stories are now increasingly at risk. HR1 is putting unprecedented pressure on behavioral health providers. As funding shrinks, organizations like CRT are losing the capacity to serve at-risk children who already face the greatest barriers to care. 97% of CRT services are supported by grants, donations, or state contracts.
1 minute remaining.
Our donors have stepped up, but cannot fully replace lost public funding. Without new funding, CRT will serve 40% fewer clients next year. That is why Cook County's commitment matters. We ask you to continue investing in behavioral health and community organizations that make care possible, so that more children like Jade can find hope and a path forward. Thank you.
The next speaker is Alois Hill, and following that, Sheila McNary.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Alois Hill, and I have been a patient under Cook County Health and Hospital System for several years. Cook County Health and Hospital Systems has been a mainstay in order to help me get back to a quality care of life. I hear a lot about the behavioral health, and I too am under the help of a psychiatrist, psychotherapist who also provides trauma therapy, and I see the acupuncturist, my PCP, the pain clinic, the musculoskeletal. There have been so many departments in this CCHHS that has helped me to stand strong again and to not just survive, but to thrive. I would be remiss if I did not say that all of the doctors, the staff, even the people that clean the hospital are always kind. They don't know me from a can of paint, but they're always kind, treat me with dignity and respect. I'm a member of the PFAC Committee, Patient, Family, and Advocacy Council, which I rarely have any complaints, but I often send good well-wishing about the people that I encounter in this organization. I want to say how important Cook County Health and Hospitals is for me. Because I'm a person that has gone through challenges, all kind of abuse and trauma and things like that, today I can stand here and be a much healthier person, have a more optimistic point of view. Of course, I had to eat right, take enough rest, take my vitamins, take medicine if it were prescribed. You know, it's not a one pill fix all just because I come to CCHHS. But with the encouragement that I received and with the support that I received, I can say that today my life is much better than it was 9 years ago. So please, if you can donate or whatever this meeting is for, please give to Cook County Health and Hospital System so there can be other people like me to go forward in life and have a great quality of care. Thank you.
The next speaker is Sheila McNary. I do not believe she is present. We did receive one written testimony, which will be included in the meeting record and will be emailed to you after the meeting.
Okay, great. Is there anyone present from the public who would like to offer public comment who didn't previously register? Anyone? Anyone? Thank you to all of our folks who made public comment today. And we will now move on to, let's see, Did I say when the next regular meeting is?
You
Did I?
did.
Okay.
Director Harrington has a question, Chair.
Director Harrington.
It's not a question, it's an observation and a comment. I want to thank the people that gave public testimony today, particularly because all of this work that we do is based upon not the people that are on the board, but our dedicated staff, our community partners, and our volunteers. So those people that spoke today are critical to some of the work that we do, and I just want to acknowledge that.
You're here.
All right. Thank you, Joe. We're now going to move on to our action items. First up is the July 9th, 2026 Finance Committee meeting minutes. These were approved at the July board meeting, but are being presented for the committee's review and discussion if necessary. Are there any corrections needed to be made to the minutes?
None here.
Any corrections? Any corrections hearing none? All those, is there a motion?
So moved.
Motion's been made. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion's been made and properly seconded. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? You guys have it. All right. The July 31st, 2026 Finance Committee special meeting minutes. These are the minutes of the special meeting with public hearings held regarding the proposed Cook County Health fiscal year 2027 preliminary budget. This was an informational meeting. No action was taken at the meeting. Are there any corrections that need to be made to the minutes? Any corrections? Any corrections? Is there a motion to approve item 3B, the July 31st, 2026 Finance Committee meeting, special meeting minutes?
So moved.
Second.
Motion's been made and properly seconded. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? You guys have it. We are now going to move to a review and consideration of the proposed Cook County Health 2027 preliminary budget presented by Scott Spencer, our interim chief financial officer. And we've had, Scott, why don't you come on up? Here's what I'm going to do. We've had the presentation a number of times. I'm just going to ask the other members of the committee if they have any further questions that did not come up in our original special committee meeting or the recessed meetings where we took the report in her public testimony.
Chair, I do not.
Director Harrington?
Done here.
Okay. Then we have had the budget presentation 3 times. I'm assuming that there'll be a presentation at the board meeting. So thank you, Scott and Eric, for presenting the budget and also answering questions along the way. Is there a motion to approve item 3C, the proposed Cook County Health fiscal year 2027 preliminary budget?
So moved.
Second.
Motion's been made and properly seconded. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? The ayes have it. Thank you, Scott. We're now going to move to items under the Chief Procurement Officer. We have, on the surface, it looks like 28 items, but items numbers 12, 13, 14, and 19 have been withdrawn. Joining us at the table is our Chief Procurement Officer, Charles Jones, who is going to, Charles, is there any preliminary statements you'd like to make?
Yes, sir. Thank you. Good morning, Charles Jones, Chief Procurement Officer of Cook County Health. With the withdrawal of item 12, 13, 14, and 19, we have 22 items of the 26 that was previously sent that requires responsive letter from the Office of Contract Compliance. We have 18 back with 9 in process. Thank you.
I'm showing that we had 28. You said 27.
The 2 are expenditures.
Oh, 2 are expenditures. Gotcha. Sorry about that. We are going to first hear from request number 1 through 4, Health Plan Services, being presented by Aaron Galliner, our Chief Administrative Officer for Health Plan Services. Aaron?
Good morning, Chair and Directors. The first item before you is for Evolent Health Third-Party Administrative Services. This is an increase to the contract, total amount of $2.9 billion. The Funding for this is all for provider claims payments. So this is reimbursement to providers who are billing us for claims for members that utilize services at those provider locations. None of this relates to administrative costs under that contract. We bring that separately to you.
Any questions?
The next item is provider data agreement management system. Vendor is Cobblestone. This is an extend and increase request, 1-year extension for $154,000.
Question?
The third item I'm bringing before you is for legal services related to mental health parity. The vendor is Epstein, Becker, and Green. This is a sole source contract due to the expertise that they bring around mental health parity. The health plan required to go through a compliance evaluation to ensure that we are following the Mental Health Parity Act each year, and they provide services to do that evaluation and submit that documentation.
No question.
No question.
All right, and then the last item I have before you is an execute contract request as a result of an RFP. This is a 3-year contract, $3.5 million for vendor Centauri. They provide eligibility review for our members for SSI and SSDI eligibility, which also helps members potentially move on to Medicare over time if they do qualify.
Any questions on that one?
Chair, I don't have questions, but I just want to uplift, at the time of my briefing earlier this week, and as we went through the contracts, there was a renewed commitment by certainly me and everyone at CCH to make sure as we're going through the process of securing partnerships and services that we are trying to bring to our vendors and suppliers chain entities from Cook County and the state of Illinois whenever possible. I think it's very important for us to continue to strive to do so. Understand that there's situations where that just isn't possible, but that is important to me, and I want on the record, I want to state it's important to CCH. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Lowry. Thank you, Aaron. Next up is request number 5, ambulatory services, being presented by Octavia Rowland, the Executive Director of Ambulatory Services.
Yes, good morning. So this amendment request is to increase the contract of our Patterson Dental Supply by $250,000 to include our oral maxillary facial surgery department, in which that department provides complex dental and surgical services that's along the lines of dental settings. And so this is just extended out from 2026 to 2029 to include that department into an established contract.
Thank you. Any questions? Hearing none, thank you.
Thank you.
We are now going to move to request number 6 through 10, being presented by Dr. Lauren Smith, our Chief Medical Officer, who is joining us remotely.
Hello, good morning, everyone.
Morning.
The first contract is an execute contract with GE Medical Systems. I'm hearing an echo. Are you guys
We're
hearing
good.
that as well?
Yeah, no, we're fine.
Okay. An execute contract with GE Medical Systems for ultrasounds and probe replacements throughout Stroger, Provident, and ACHN, not to exceed the amount of $7,487,145.35. And this is a one-time capital purchase. The next is an execute contract with Atlas Labs. And this is for automating our medication assistance program. And this will help to reduce cost. The contract includes 2 1-year renewal options. And this is not to exceed the amount of $885,000 for a 36-month period ending August 31st, 2029. The next is an execute contract with Total Scope. They will provide scope equipment repairs and maintenance for our OR, not to exceed the amount of $450,000 for a 36-month period through August 31st, 2029. The next is an execute contract with Cardiac Insight. This is a sole source. and they provide iRhythm, so a cardiac monitoring system, excuse me, for not to exceed the amount of $300,000 for a 36-month period ending August 30th, 2029. And the last is an execute contract with Laerdal Medical Corporation, who provides SIM mannequins for our SIM center. And this includes a subscription service and maintenance, not to exceed the amount of $160,911 for a 36-month period ending August 30th, 2029.
All right. Any questions? Hearing none, thank you. That was it for Dr. Smith, correct? Thank you, Dr. Smith. We're now going to move on to request number 11 and 15 being presented by Scott Spencer, our interim CFO.
Good morning. So the item before you, the vendor is Experian Health. It is an amend and increase contract, fiscal impact not to exceed $2,812,236, and takes the contract through 10/31/2026. And this is a web-based system that is used within the revenue cycle to determine eligibility, patient eligibility in regards to different state and federal programs.
Any questions?
No.
All right. Number 15, Scott?
Yeah. This is an extended increase contract with Electa with a fiscal impact not to exceed $28,120. And this vendor provides software services for cancer registry program for abstracting, case finding, and state and federal reporting.
All right. Any questions on this one?
No question.
All right. Thank you, Scott. We're going to now move on to request number 16 being presented. I got two names here. Let's see if we're getting both of them. We've got Angela O'Banion, our Chief Information Officer, and Dr. Daniel McCormick, our Executive Chief Clinical Officer. Got Angela.
Hello. Good morning, Angela O'Banion here, Chief Information Officer. The request before you is for Epic Systems for 7 years, $102 million, and 2 5-year renewals. Cook County Health issued this request for proposal because our current electronic health record solution expires in 2028. We used a structured process to issue the RFP as usual, supported by supply chain and the very broad team of dozens of employees across the hospital selected Epic. We expect the implementation to deliver better care coordination, stronger clinical decision support, improved patient experience through modern digital tools. We expect more efficient workflows for clinicians, staff, integrated revenue and operational processes, and of course, more importantly, better patient care and better patient engagement. The Epic solution will also be leveraged across the organization, not only by inpatient, outpatient, ambulatory specialty, but will also be leveraged by the health plan, Department of Public Health, the clinical trials team, and any other systems and processes within the Cook County Health delivery system.
I have a quick question, then I'll go to Director Harrington next. Just to highlight, I think something you said. So in the process of staff review and recommendation, this was put across all disciplines here at the hospital who touch the use of our systems. That, I believe that's what you said, right?
That is correct. The evaluation committee itself consisted of over 28 people 28 people, and the stakeholder requirement sessions, of which there were a few dozen of them, and deep dive sessions, and also included hundreds of people across the organization.
Okay, including both IT and clinical.
IT, clinical, operational, everyone who would be touched by this system was included.
Okay, I just, because it's a significant contract with a long runway, which is to be expected with this type of vendor contract. I just want to reinforce that there was a lot of due diligence that went into this. Director Harrington, do you have a question or comment?
No, I was just going to make a comment. And I believe, based upon the length of the contract, that you probably come to the conclusion we'll probably save money. We spend $102 million over 6 years. But if we were to do this contract on a biannual basis or a triannual basis or every 4 years, it probably costs us a lot more to do it than going ahead, biting the bullet and spending this money. So I assume that's part of the thinking moving forward, that it's in the long run will save us money. And it seems like a lot, but we can demonstrate over time that we save money by doing this.
One of the reasons that we do the longer term contracts with these massive implementations is because the implementations themselves take about 18 plus months after the team kicks off. And so then you also have to have a few years of using the system before you can measure whether or not the SLAs, the service level agreements, the benefits, the revenue projections actually come to fruition. And so that's one of the reasons why large contracts, whether they're financial systems or healthcare systems or Microsoft, email, those kinds of things, it's not something that you, but we do expect the overall program to improve revenue.
And we won't know that for 3 to maybe 4 years.
Well,
from now.
Along,
That's what I think.
Yeah, not necessarily.
3 to 4 years, we'll probably see that we're saving money.
Yeah.
But that's important.
We will expect to see financial benefits after implementation within a few months, just not across all categories.
Well, and I would highlight too that this is also patient facing, and when it's appropriate to do these transitions when it comes time to do them, and after get to that point where you need to review it, and when you come to the conclusion that it's appropriate to go out with a new vendor, it's you have to make sure you don't want to be switching vendors on a patient, regardless of how it impacts the people that the users of the interfaces internally. The patient, I mean, you're not in a position where you want to keep changing their portal and how they access their records and make appointments and do all the things that you do on these portals like every year to 2 years. So you have to have length on these contracts in order to work with them, see their productivity, and then also not be disruptive to your patients. So
yeah.
All right. Any other questions or comments? All right. Thank you, Angela.
Thank you.
We are going to now go to request number 17 and 18 being presented by Wynn Buren, Chief Human Resources Officer.
All right, good morning. This request is for approval to extend the Catena Solutions contract for recruitment and staffing support for non-union positions through April 30th, 2027. This extension has no physical impact and allows continued support for critical recruitment activities.
Any questions?
All right. This request is for the approval to extend and increase Cornerstone Staffing Solutions contract by $210,000 for the period of May 1st through 2026 through April 30th, 2027. The contract provides temporary staffing support for workforce development and training initiatives, including 2 graphic designers and 1 instructional designer.
Any questions on this one?
No, for me.
All right, thank you, Wynn. We are now going to, request number 19 was withdrawn, so we're now moving to request number 20 and 21, being presented by Adam Weber, Executive Director of Special Operations.
Thank you. This first contract is an extension of our existing contract with Jones, Lang & LaSalle through February 4th of 2027 in the amount of $768,499. JLL provides us facility management services at our Provident and Stroger campus, as well as does various assessment services for us in the plant operations space.
That's a short-term extension of the contract.
Correct, 6 months.
Okay. All right.
The second contract is a new contract to begin 9/1/26, going through 8/31/2029 with Altifor Industries in the amount of $766,000.66. Altifor Industries does maintenance and repair of our emergency generators, as well as maintenance of our automatic transfer switches. This is a sole source, as they are the only vendor who is authorized to provide that services for our Caterpillar equipment on campus.
All right.
Thank you.
Any questions before we? Okay, great. Thanks, Adam. We're going to move to request number 23 through 26, being presented by Donica Austin Cathy, Stroger Hospital Chief Hospital Executive.
Thank you and good morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
The first is an extend contract with Barton Carey. This is for custom burn garments. There is a zero fiscal impact. The revised contract through 11/30 of 2027. This vendor will provide custom burn garments according to the physician prescription. And next we have an extend contract with Digital Shipper LLC. This is for the multi-carrier shipping software solution for our mail order pharmacy. There's a zero fiscal impact. Revised contract period through 7/31 of 2027. This is a sole source, as this request is the vendor platform is fully integrated with the current pharmacy shipping workflows. And they will be providing the multi-carrier shipping platform, the label generation, the shipping manifest for our mail order and home delivery. Next, we have an extend contract with RCM Technologies, doing business as RCM Healthcare Services. This is for rehabilitation therapy. There's a zero fiscal impact. The revised contract period 6/30 of 2027. The vendor will provide physical therapy, occupational therapy, speech, audiological services to supplement our system-wide staffing. And next we have an extend and increase contract with Bayer Healthcare. This is for our Stellan syringes. And the fiscal amount is $485,495. Revised contract period through 5/31 of 2027. This vendor will provide the Stellan syringes used in CT, MRI, angiography exams at Stroger, Provident, Cermak, and Blue Island. And the last one is an extend executed contract for Stryker sales. This is for our big wheel stretchers and accessories, as well as our ProCare service program, in the amount not to exceed $1,005,230.15. This is a one-time capital purchase that will purchase 73 big wheel stretchers and accessories, also giving a service plan of 9 years through 2036.
Any questions for Donica? Thank you.
Thank you.
Charles, do you have anything else?
No, just two expenditures. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. I forgot that. Those two items. Scott Spencer has returned to the table.
Yes. Yes, we've got two requests for approval for payment. The first would be for Certive with a DBA of Omega Technology Solutions. This is a vendor that we use within the revenue cycle. The agreement expired on November 30th of 2025. We had services that went beyond that time frame. The contract has been terminated, however, at this point. And so the payment amount is $293,858.78. And then the second one is a similar scenario. It's Enable Comp. The vendor provides follow-up services for workers' compensation and liability, accounts receivable, collection services. This agreement expired on September 30th. We did have services that continued beyond that. But again, given the change in leadership and change in direction on these activities, that contract has been terminated. The payment amount is $147,878.05.
Any questions for Scott?
No questions here. None for me.
Hearing none. Thank you, Scott. Now, is there Charles, do you have anything?
No, sir.
Okay. Motion to approve item 4A, contracts procurement items containing request number 1 through 28, with the exception of request numbers 12, 13, 14, and 19, which were withdrawn, and subject to completion of review by contract compliance. Is there a motion?
So moved. Second.
Motion has been made and properly seconded. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Guys have it. All right. Moving right along. We're now going to go to the Charles, the MBWB report.
All right, thank you. Before you, you have three reports, reports for the first and second quarter of 2026. For the month of December, we had 12 contracts that went to board. 6 of those had contract-specific goals of $62 million. 3 of those had prime vendors for $14.4 million. 3 of them had subcontracting opportunities for $16.7 million. So all 6 contracts had participation for a total of $31.2 million and approximately 6% participation. Looking at the month of January, we had only 2 contracts with goals for $14.5 million. Both of those had subcontracting opportunities for $3.47 million and approximately 24% participation. Rounding out the quarter in February, out of the 29 contracts, 12 had contract-specific goals, $55 million. We had 2 primes for $500,000, and we had 6 subcontractors for $9.5 million. So a total of 8 contracts participation out of the 12 for $10 million. February resulted in 4 waivers, though, for the contract for health plan services that provided data and agreement measurement systems for $190,000. Another contract for health plan services that has CMS interoperable patient access, final rules and integrations, had a waiver for $2.25 million. Quality contract that has healthcare measurements and analytic platforms for $8.3 million. And then finally, a clinical contract for dental supplies and instruments for $2.5 million. 4 waivers for a total of $13.25 million. But overall, looking for that first quarter, all the way over to your right there, 20 contracts for $132 million. 5 of them had primes, $14.9 million. 11 subcontractors for $29.7 million. So 16 of the 20 had participation for $14.7 million and roughly 33%. So Debbie, if you go to the next page, you'll see a bar graph like that. Give you a little visual. All right. Any question on the first quarter before I roll into the second quarter?
Chair, I have one question. Yes, thank you. Thank you, Charles. Relative to the allowance of 4 waivers over the last 2 months that you showed on the previous slide, what's the process that an entity would have to go to in order to be given that full waiver?
So with the Office of Contract Compliance, the vendor goes through all their good faith efforts to the office, work with the compliance officer, and then thereafter, if they apply for a waiver after doing due diligence and good faith offer, then it goes to a waiver committee, and the waiver committee has to approve the waiver.
Just wanted to make sure my first ordinance is still being considered.
Yes, sir. Thank you. You're welcome. All right, looking at the second quarter, which was March, April, and May, and April 10th this year because we met later on for the month of March. So 21 contracts, 8 for 70 million had goals. We had 0 primes and 5 subcontractors for 8.2 million. Again, there we had 3 waivers for 4.6 million. We had a clinical contract for neurology and clinical neurophysiology, continuous EEG technical service for 2.7 million. We had an HIS project management contract for 678,000 that you see the waiver, and then an operational contract for carpet runners, floor mats, and microfiber mops, 1.2 million. 3 waivers there, 4.6 million. April, 5 of the 14 had contract-specific goals, 4.4 million. No primes there again. 3 subs for 295,000, and roughly 7%. The 2 waivers for 1.2 million represents a health plan service contract for HEDIS data and reporting services, 550,000. And then we had a clinical pharmaceutical nitric oxide for inhalation therapy contract for 720,000. So those 2 waivers total 1.24 million. Rounding out the quarter in May, 11 of the 20 for 279 million had specific goals. We had 2 primes for 411,000 and 9 subs for 32.6 million. So all 11 had participation for $33 million and roughly 12%. So now rounding out the first 2 quarters, the 2 quarters as a total now, 44 contracts, 487 million, 7 primes, 15.3 million, 28 subs for 70.86 million. So 35 of the 44 had participation for $86.2 million and roughly 18%. So that was the next slide. Again, to give you a visual with the bar chart. Any questions? Great. Next on the screen for you are contracts under the CEO for less than 150,000 for the first quarter, December, January, and February. We had 12 contracts, and quick notes there is 12 of the 12 were, we did receive responsive letters from the Office of Contract Compliance. 6 of the 12 were GPO vendors, and 6 of the 12 was capital equipment purchases as we spend down our FY 2026 capital. Just highlighting a couple of the high dollar ones. The Compumedics was Nexus 360, Compumedics Hostix Enterprise for Cath Lab, 148,000, and Forensic PC Legal Services for the Office of General Counsel, 149, and then Norton Rose Fulbright also special legal services, 149,000. Any questions on the under 150 report? All right. And now we'll move on to my final item, the emergency purchases enacted July. There was an extend and increase for the vendor to continue distribution of pharmaceuticals at CCH on behalf of the Department of Pharmacy. This is the Mercedes-Bergen with the Syncor Inc. A 3-month extension, 37.8 million. Also an extend and increase on July 22nd for the vendor to continue to provide a medical physicist as per state regulations to oversee our radioactive material, radioactive producing equipment, and licenses on behalf of the Department of Radiology. That was with West Physics Consultant LLC for a 12-month period, $385.9 thousand. And lastly, on July 31st, an emergency purchase for the vendor to provide paralegal and third-party legal reviews on behalf of the Office of General Counsel. This is with Pativity Government Services. Again, 12 months and $149,000. Any question on emergency purchases?
Any questions for Charles?
None.
No.
All right. Thank you, Charles. All right. We're now going to go to our Chief Financial Officer, our interim Chief Financial Officer, Scott Spencer, who's going to first present grant award related items.
Good morning again.
Good morning.
So yeah, we'll start with the receive and file report. We have 5 items here. $2,501,085 are increase and extensions, and then the $3.7 million are renewals.
Any questions for Scott on any of these items?
No, thank you.
All right. So is there a motion to receive and file item 5A, the grant award related items?
So moved.
Motion's been made and properly seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Guys have it. All right. We're going to now go to June financials.
All right, thank you. All right, so June year to date, we are 8.6 million unfavorable to budget, and we'll get into how that breaks down between healthcare services and health plan services in the next couple of slides. The drivers, however, remaining largely the same as they have been. Net patient service revenue unfavorable to budget, however, capitation revenue favorable. And then on the expense side, claims expense continues to be unfavorable, as well as supplies and salaries. So on the next slide, our combined income statement, just kind of walking through the items here. Again, as I mentioned, net patient service revenue short of budget by 4%. The next line, the government supports, however, is favorable to budget, and adjusted net patient service revenue is favorable by almost 6%. And as a reminder, we did book the additional dish dollars that were received that related to fiscal 23 in June. Capitation revenue continues to be favorable, so total revenue is favorable by 7%. Total expenses unfavorable by 7.05%, driven largely by the medical claims expense as well as the supplies and salaries. The combined net loss is the $17,795,000. And you'll see that same number in the bottom right-hand corner of the next slide, and how that breaks down between healthcare services and health plan services. So healthcare services currently showing a net income of $45 million, and the health plan showing a net loss of $62 million. And just to highlight that net loss has stabilized over the past few months, given the efforts that the team has been making on the cost side of the health plan. Our next slide, highlighting the favorable and unfavorable drivers. As I mentioned, net patient service revenue unfavorable, as well as the medical claims, and then governmental support favorable, as well as the capitation. And that governmental support of $73 million reflects the $47 million from fiscal 23 of additional dish dollars that were received. On the next slide, just walking through the volumes here. The discharge is short of budget at Stroger by 5.8%. Just one change to highlight here. We did have a minor QC issue within some of our reporting, and I just want to highlight that the average daily census is short by 3.6%, and not the 16% that is showing on this slide. So we have some responsibilities that are moving around within the team, and just something that we've got to mop up within our internal process. Surgeries, however, at Stroger remain better than budget and better than prior year. And then at Provident, surgeries was almost 17% better than budget and also better than prior year. And then on the outpatient side, we have primary care visits short by 3.7%, but that gap continues to close as the year progresses. And then specialty care visits, 1.1% favorable to budget. So the next slide shows the same information graphically, and you can see overall that our volumes have been fairly stable over the past few years. The payer mix, not much change in the month of June. Uncompensated did increase by 0.3%. And we did see decreases in Medicare and Medicaid by 0.1%. And commercial remained unchanged, so still coming in at that 9%. Our revenue cycle KPIs, so a lot happening within the revenue cycle in terms of process and process review. The cash collections did come in slightly off target for the month of June, but looking forward to the July numbers, I think we'll be back on target there. And then our charitable and public program expenditures, so not much change in terms of what we're projecting for the year, driven largely by the charity care and the other uncompensated care. And then our savings initiatives, county care coming in at $34.2 million of the $100 million that's estimated. And then within the health system, we're at $23.3 million of the $40 million of anticipated reduction in agency cost. The next slide, again, county care showing the operating loss, but again, just emphasizing that has stabilized over the past few months as the team continues to work through the cost issues and addressing the medical loss ratio. And with that,
any questions for Scott on the June financials?
No questions.
No questions. All right, great. Thanks, Scott. We're now going to move to our informational reports, which are being presented, which is our bi-monthly agency reduction plan, a monthly guidehouse recruitment update presented by Wynn Buren, our Chief Human Resources Officer, and staying at the table, Scott Spencer, our interim CFO. That's what my notes say. Unless you want to leave. Is there someone else?
I brought up a new friend.
Oh, you got new friends?
Oh, you've seen these friends.
I have seen these friends before.
All right. All right, good morning.
Have a seat.
Scott, you look like Caleb Williams directing the line.
Here we go.
Scott, you can rearrange people if you want.
It's all right, as long as his mic's working on it.
All right, so good morning. Today we'll walk through where we stand on agency usage and give you an update on our guidehouse recruitment initiatives for the ASPN representative roles supporting rep cycle. RJ and Karen will walk through the recruitment update, and I'll cover where we stand on agency usage.
Good morning, RJ Dabney, Associate Chief Human Resources Officer. Thank you. So yeah, I'll just start off with a reminder of some of the strategies and tactics we've had over the last several months to increase the recruitment velocity of these roles. So first off, we did work with the union to revise some of the minimum qualifications for third-party billing specifically to increase the applicant flow there. We also worked to streamline recruitment and increase velocity by moving all 3 roles to the accelerated hiring process, which removes the interview process to increase the speed of recruitment there. We also, in order to optimize recruitment marketing, we did create a careers landing page specifically for these revenue cycle roles. And then for some of our internal candidates, we wanted to ensure that they had the resources necessary to help them navigate the applicant process. So we did provide job aids and recorded trainings to set up notifications of future vacancies. Anything you want to add there, Karen?
Yes. So in partnership with marketing, we also did targeted Google advertisements. So that helped us get 20,000 impressions, which I think also helped with the increase in applicant flow by 18%.
Next slide, please.
All right. So as of August 11th, we have extended 57 offers where 53 have been accepted and 25 positions have been filled so far. One of the most encouraging indicators is our offer acceptance rate, which is 93%, demonstrating that once we identify qualified candidates, they are choosing Cook County Health. Since August 11th, we have also continued to build momentum within the pipeline. For the pre-registration specialist positions, we extended 7 offers, where 4 candidates have already accepted and 3 are pending decisions. So with that, we would be able to fill all of the positions for the pre-registration specialist that we have open right now. For the health information coder positions, we also extended an additional 12 offers and are currently awaiting candidate decisions. And for third-party billing, which remains our largest area of need, we are currently validating another 62 applications and have already identified 9 additional candidates to extend offers to. So these results definitely demonstrate that the pipeline continues to advance, and with the additional hiring activity that's expected in the coming weeks, including a hiring fair specifically for third-party billing next Thursday, August 27th, and us continuing to leverage the accelerated hiring process, we should be expecting more offer activities and hopefully continue filling those positions.
RJ, you talked about hiring velocity. So where are we gonna end up at the end of the year?
Yeah, we're making a tremendous progress. Again, Karen mentioned that we'll probably actually fill all of the pre-reg roles maybe by the end of this month. With the offers that we've already extended for third-party billing, plus the hiring fair that's taking place next week, we'll probably be close to 60-70% filled by the end of this month as well. So closer to where we need to be, by the end of the year. And then HIM coders as well, there's 17 pending offers. So we'll probably be right around 60-75% again by the end of this month. So by the end of this month, I'm feeling confident that we'll be more than 3/4 of the way there. So definitely by the end of this year.
On all
three of those roles. Again, pre-reg specialists should all be accepted by the end of this month.
And how many positions will that be total in the end?
That'll be 145 of the vacancies that we have 145 current vacancies. So about 60-75% of those will be filled by the end of this month, accepted by the end of this month.
And that'll put us on the pathway to be in compliance with whatever we're supposed to do.
Yeah.
That's the thing that I wanted. Okay. All right. Wynn?
All right.
First, anybody have any guidance questions?
No,
I'm not the only person that wants to know things.
All right, so you've seen this slide before, and as you know, our total agency FTEs have declined significantly since September 24. In the last month or two, we've gone from 658 agency employees to 645. And again, we continue to drop, so we're 8.5%, we're going down to 8.3. I think one of the challenges we have is coming up with a way to eventually move the rest of the nursing staff that is agency into permanent positions. So we're working with NNOC on what an MOA would look like to do that as well. That's helped us before. We think taking another look at that this year will help us bring that number down significantly. Any questions there? At a high level, kind of as I mentioned before, our CN1s remain our largest agency usage, so about 203, but that's down significantly from its height at 407. So we've made tremendous progress in that area. And then next slide. And then high level locum tenens, we've held fairly steady. We were at 44 FTEs in December, and we're down to about 40 in July, so roughly 11% decline. And that concludes our agency report.
Do we have any questions?
Great comment. I think you continue to move mountains. I think this is good news. It's important. This is also us making a commitment to working families, and I think that's important as well. Guidehouse, there is one question. If I'm recalling from the last meeting, isn't there a contract coming up at the end of the year for purposes of extension or not, or am I thinking of something else?
There is, and that's different though. That won't include, if I remember correctly, that won't include these particular roles on the management side.
Okay.
That was, as we took the contract through, it would have been a one-year extension that went to March-ish.
Okay.
We trimmed it so that we wouldn't be signaling that there was any intention of not being compliant with the settlement agreement. So
okay,
it's ending in December now. Anything moving forward would be only.
And that's what I was recalling. Thank you. Okay.
I'd like to make an observation. And looking at the slide with the bar chart on current state of agency use, if you look at the beginning, September fiscal year 2024, we were at 18.6%. And currently, June fiscal year 26, we're at 8.3%. That's a change in 10%. So that's significant. It needs to be applauded. Thank you.
The recruitment team has done a great job in getting the people transitioned over, and they continue to do a great job with our Guidehouse transition as well. So very proud of the work they're doing.
How many people do we have on board working that are outside of training and are starting to do the work right now? I'm looking. I'm more looking at the Ben and is John here?
Of the accepted offers, how many have already started?
The 25 are filled, and those people are in roles. So how's it going?
From my understanding, having spoken to our executive directors and directors, on the front end for pre-registration, those roles have been filled, and if anything, if there are more roles that were considered for later hiring, we're actually looking at getting those PIDs sort of, if possible, filled because, yeah, they're doing well on the front end. Mid-cycle for the coders, again, those have been filled. They're coming off training, and our executive director feels very confident and comfortable with them, and that they're ready to be engaged and deployed and work to full capacity of productivity. So we're very encouraged by that. In the back office for patient financial services, we are hoping that the upcoming job fair will yield much needed recruitment results, and which I think kudos to RJ and Karen and team. They've done an amazing job with recruitment. But that third party billing, are hoping to get more offers, and train those people, and get them going. Of the 3 that have accepted offers, I believe they are working, and have not heard any negative commentary. They're productive. We just want, we need more candidates in those roles. But again, the job fair, we're hoping will yield results.
So, and I'm not asking about individual employee experiences. What I'm, we started this process, a lot of, the Guidehouse is a vendor. They're using people that are not here, that aren't employees. I know that there might be some like management roles of people that actually touch the location, but these roles we're talking about are off-site roles. So now that we're bringing this process in, and I think Bill said it just overall with everything having to do with the work that we've done in terms of cutting down our agency usage, in sourcing, staff capacity, there's a lot to be said, I think, about being able to manage your processes, manage your people to see, not just hand it off and get a bill. And there's a lot of things that get rolled up into our vendor contracts because they pay people too, and they build profit into it. They do all kinds of stuff, which is normal. I guess my question is, and I think you got to it. So far so good. Because at the end of the day, what I'd like to see is that in insourcing this, that we're building a culture internally that it's seen like, well, we had to do this. Not that like we not only did we have to do this, we needed to do this, and guess what? It worked out. So that's sort of what I'm trying to gauge. Are we on that trajectory? Like, hey, turns out it worked out.
I believe so. I think with the tremendous efforts that the HR team has done, I'm confident that we are on trajectory for having a very competent and capable internalized workforce for the revenue cycle department with much more visibility, transparency, reporting, and again, holding on to those workflows internally so that we are not having to be vulnerable to agency.
Yeah, I think just generally speaking, and this is just me speaking, is that we run a public institution, all right? We control we in terms of delivery of service, we have a value set that's different than the other people that are in the market doing what we do, right? In terms of how we engage and build that workforce, we don't have to copy what everyone else does. In some cases, in the past, we got out ahead of everybody in terms of our focus on outside vendors doing work. We've done I think incredible and remarkable are an understatement in terms of how we reversed this ship on agency usage. That there was some of us who were rattling cages over for a long time, and Eric and Craig, who started this process, I think did a remarkable job. And the finance was sort of a blind spot on this, so you guys have had to pivot on that pretty quickly because that all started. I mean, a lot of this stuff on finance started to reveal itself maybe a year ago. It definitely is accelerated. There's more things popped up. So it's good to know that it just wasn't a contentious thing that we, as a hospital, we got backed into. Like, it's working out, and it actually keeps us mission oriented, that the people, not only the people that they see on frontline services, but the people that our patients are dealing with, our community members as well, and that we're providing good jobs for people, which gets back to Bill's point. So,
and if I may, I and my colleagues on the Cook County Board requested a 20% reduction. And I'm calculating since September of 24, a 56% reduction. Now, I could be wrong. I didn't take off my shoes and start counting my toes.
But a lot usage, I think part of it is usage under 20% too.
Right, but I'm just saying, this is really a story to be told and shared. And I just, again, to the chair's point, I applaud the effort today.
And what's the usage number again?
8.3%.
What's that?
8.3% across
Eight-
the.
Now,
From 18.6.
now, some people want it to be 20% in each
That's
EID, but that's,
We're.
yeah, it's hard when it's 4 people, all of a sudden
Yeah,
3 people
so
quit.
for the most part, we're down below that number. So in the areas where we can do that, we've done that really well. To your point, if there's 4 people,
Yeah.
one person's gonna slow that off a little bit, so.
Yeah, you're gonna fall off the wagon on that, then have to pivot to back on it. All right. Joe, do you have anything?
Keep up the good work.
For the record, Director Sorrell joined us, on the latter half of this meeting. I believe she's here to attend the next meeting, so welcome. Thank you. Gina, you have any questions? No. Keep forgetting about you, because I'm looking at the committee members, but you have a right to be as engaged as you want to be.
Oh, thanks. No, I am good.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Excellent. Thank you. I don't have anything else. Thank you, everyone. With no further business coming before the committee, the meeting is adjourned.
Thank you.